Hello everybody, we'll be with you in just a moment. Just waiting for everybody to get a quick notification. If you are watching this live, we will be here in a moment. If you are watching the replay, just move it forward a little bit until you see us. All right, everybody, we're about to go live here. I hope everybody's getting ready for this wonderful live. Just waiting for everybody to get in real quick so people keep saying they don't get an alert. If you are watching this not live, you can just scroll quickly to the beginning. If you're watching live, which is now, we'll be with you in a sec. All right, hello everybody.
Hey everyone, welcome. It's Tuesday. So this project we were going to share yesterday. What happened yesterday? Why didn't we go live?
Let's see.
Computer.
Computer problem.
My computer completely died. Okay. So I have a new MacBook Pro, thank goodness.
Yeah, actually another new MacBook Pro.
Another new one.
Because even that one was a little goofy. Yeah.
So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be showing you how to make a Lego Master Builder shirt. You guys all know I'm a Lego fan. I love my Legos and building their what they call modular buildings. Mm-hmm. And I don't have a Master Builder shirt. And I really feel like I need this in my life.
That would look really good to have.
So we're going to show you the entire process from Cricut Design Space, cutting it on the machine, and then the applique process. So everything we are talking about is down below in the description. So all the links, if you use those links, they do help support Ken's Kreations. So we appreciate that.
Thank you.
If you buy anything at Cricut, make sure to use my coupon code and the link down below. That's KK10. That gets you 10% off, but it will not work on machines or new items. So
That's right.
Any kind of machine, bright pad, easy press, and new items it doesn't work on. So keep that in mind. Also, we're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. So make sure you're subscribed, which you should be if you're watching. But if you know other people that might like this channel, make sure to get them to subscribe. Because once we get to 100,000 subscribers, we're doing a huge giveaway. Like multiple machines and money and all sorts of fun stuff.
It's wow.
It's wow.
It's wow.
And last but not least, I am using a file in this image that I did create. Took me a little bit. I'm starting to get used to Adobe Illustrator, so we're getting there. But we will be using this file. So that will be down below on Patreon. I don't know why Sean went to that screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're not ready yet. So if you want the file, I will be uploading that to my Patreons later tonight. And it comes with multiple pieces, which will explain all of that. Also, last but not least, if you have any questions, make sure to ask them in big, bold letters.
Yeah,
so Sean can see the question. We're about a 30-second delay, so keep that in mind. If you do ask a question, we might be a little late just because of that delay. So now we can go into the computer. So what we're creating today is a shirt. And the whole idea of my shirt was I wanted it to be in the Lego color. So here's the Lego logo. You have white, black, and then yellow. I originally was going to put it on a red shirt because that is the Lego logo, but I didn't necessarily like the red shirt. Here's what it's going to look like when we're complete. We have the red on the left and the blue on the right. That image is not one that I created the image, but it's not an original idea. That Lego evolution of the little guy walking up is a pretty famous image now of Lego. So we're going to make that and then put Master Builder. Now, of course, you could use anything below, maybe your kid's name or anything like that. So that's what we're going to do. But typically, I was originally going to do it on red because it kind of matches the overall Lego theme, but red is just not my color. So we're doing it on blue. So this is what the completed project will look like in Cricut Design Space. But I wanted to walk you guys through my entire process. So we will be doing this from start to finish. So let's go ahead and go to a new project. And I do go in and change my settings. So originally when you go into Cricut Design Space, just know that most of the time your settings here on the left is gonna have a full grid. A lot of people like their grid. I'm not a big fan of the grid. So I click these little, I call them the hamburger button. I don't know officially what they're called, but these three little lines, and I turn that grid off. The other thing is I like working with templates. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose a template. All a template is it gives you an idea of what you're working with. So like I'm working with the shirt and it just gives you an idea for placement. It will not cut this, so that's very important to know. And it will tell you that templates are intended for reference only and will not be saved with your project. So if you save this, let's say on the computer desktop, and then you go into the app later to bring this project in to use it, you're not gonna see that template. Just keep that in mind. And I'm gonna change it to a blue. Now, I wish I was a small, but I'm not, so we'll change it to an extra large because that's the size of the shirt. So there we are. The next thing we need to do is download or upload our images we're going to be working with. So I already uploaded them. You'll see them down here, but I'm going to re-upload these. So if you're a patron and you get this file, you're going to get it in a zip file, which means you'll just double click on it and have your system unzip it. And once you're there, you're going to have three different files. You're going to have a Lego SVG, a Lego Evo thick SVG. So all the thick means is I gave it a thicker black and yellow line, which I prefer, but I know some people don't like that. So I've given you a PNG file of it, which looks like this. I've given you the regular SVG, a thicker one, and then also the master builder for underneath. So all you have to do on an SVG is select what you want and hit open. So you can change it to whatever name. So this is how it will search in Cricut Design Space. So we'll say Lego Master, let's put Lego Evolution. And we can put tags like Lego, building, blocks, fun, whatever you think it will remind you, and then we'll hit save.
Somebody was just asking, why are you not a fan of the grid? Is it just a preference? Your personal preference?
It's a personal preference. So when I look at it and I'm trying to line things up, it's very busy, and I like it more a little clean looking. That's the only reason.
Okay.
Next thing is the Master Builder. We're going to do the exact same thing. Here's the Master Builder all ready to go. We're going to open that.
Somebody, Anna was asking, how accurate is the sizing in Design Space?
Maybe clarify. What does she mean by how accurate the sizing is?
If an extra large is an extra large, I mean, how truly is the size of one?
So let's go to that really quick. So up here, when I select this down here, so extra large, it doesn't give you the sizing. So what I would recommend doing is the sizing it's pretty accurate, but they can't have it perfect all the time. You can always change anything to custom and then change your sizing up here. So when I change it to custom, then we can play around with the sizes here. But because we're not making it perfect, I'm just looking for a reference on if I don't want an image so big, which I'll show you that now. So we've uploaded both of our images, which are down here. So we're gonna select both of them. And you know it's selected because there will be a green box around it, which means we are good to go. And we'll hit Insert Images, and it will automatically bring both of those into Cricut Design Space. Now it does bring them in at this one's pretty large, this one's a little smaller, I do know I want these at 11 inches wide. Now, if you want to cut it on the 12 by 12 mat, the max you're going to size an image is 11.5. So I'm going to bring this down to 11 inches up here where there's this little size thing. And I'm going to want to make sure this little lock right here is in the locked position, because that means it's going to keep its height. I always want to say height weight, but it's not. Width and height ratio.
Width and height, there you go.
So used to another height and weight ratio. And then the Master Builder, same thing. I'm going to change this to 11 inches. So now the only reason I have the template is now I can play around to see, okay, is that too big? Do I like this? Do I like the spacing? And we can kind of zoom in here. And once we know, okay, yeah, we kind of like that spacing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both items. You can either select the first item, hit the shift key, and select your next item, or probably the one that a lot of people do is draw a box around it. And up here, there's an align feature. Align will let you center. You can horizontally align, which is what I want to do. And this will make sure that everything's lined up. So we're at this point, but for me, we have a couple of different things. We could go ahead and cut it now. Let me show you what would happen. What will happen right now is it's going to separate all of my words, which I really don't want because I want all my spacing to be the same. So that is very important on where the attach feature comes in. So in order to attach, to attach items, it has to be single layer items. So we don't want items grouped. Right now, if I was to move this around, it's all grouped. And we don't want to do that. We want to attach while things are not grouped. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my image and I'm going to right click and hit ungroup. We're going to do the same for the Master Builder down here, ungroup. So everything now is independent from each other. So if we were to move this little white image, it's different from the black image. The easiest way to attach without hitting select is turn off the colors you don't want to attach. So we know we only want to use the white right now. Over here in our layers tab, we have all of these tabs with a little eyeball. There's the key. If you don't want to see something, you click the eyeball. The only reason I'm doing this is it makes attach really easy. You don't have to worry about moving stuff around or selecting the wrong thing. So we're going to turn off all of the yellow and all of the black. All we have now is the white. I can draw a box around it and hit attach. And now I can move my white out of the way for now. Now our next layer I think was the black. So now we can turn back on the blacks. So just come over here, anything that is black, same thing. Now we can go ahead and draw a box around that, hit attach. And all attach does is it literally holds it in the exact position you want it. It's gonna keep all of your spacing, it's gonna keep everything. So on the mats, I'll show you here what happens now. Once we attach this yellow, hit the attach key. Now when we hit make it, see, look at everything's exactly positioned so I can cut it directly on my heat transfer vinyl or iron, whatever you're using, and everything keeps its spacing exactly. Makes your life so much easier than trying to line up everything. But if you want to make sure it still looks good and everything is bueno, and you know, you don't have to do this piece, but if you want it just because you're like me and you like everything to be perfect. So here's our yellow. Our black, we need to be in front of the yellow, so we're going to come up to where it says arrange and move to front. That makes the black on the top, and we can now put that kind of just right in there. Same with the white. We want to bring that to the front, move to the front. And now look at everything's there, but it doesn't look pretty, so we can now draw a box around it, and we can hit center horizontally. We can even hit center, just center in general, and it will center everything. That step's not necessary. I just like doing that because then I can look and say, oh yeah, that looks good. So now when we hit make it, it's very important. Since we're putting this on a shirt, Sean, what is very important we must do?
If it has anything, especially with words, you must mirror it.
Yes, because if you don't, and you were to cut this,
it's going
to be backwards.
Yep.
So we need to go to each one of these little dials here on our mat and go here, and you're going to want to mirror all of them. So if you mirror one, you want to mirror all of them, because if not, no bueno. All right, so now we can hit continue. and it basically is going to say, hey, do you want to connect this to a Cricut? So make sure your Cricut is turned on. This is a brand new Mac. You can turn it on.
All right.
Well, no, you want to leave it on this. This is a brand new Mac. So what I want to do is make sure my machine is off, because I need to make sure it is noticeable by my computer. So I can go to my system preferences. We turn the machine on now.
Okay, here we go.
We're going to go to Bluetooth, and we're going to wait for my Cricut Air 2 to show up, which you see it right there. I can hit connect. Now this is just for a Mac, and if you've already set up your machine, it should have walked you through this. However, I have a new computer, so it doesn't recognize my Cricut Air 2, so I have to connect it to Bluetooth, or it will not show up in this box here. It will say no Cricut device found, which is very frustrating if you are trying to use it. So if it ever says it couldn't connect, just try again, and go ahead and, sorry guys, thought I put that away, but I guess not. Oh, sorry. There we go. See if we can get it to connect. Cricut Air could not connect. Can you go and turn it off, Sean? We'll try one more time. Sometimes you have to turn it back off. And let's go here. Hey, Sean, can you go to this computer? Let me make sure this is on. All right, so let's turn our machine back on here. Probably should have done my Bluetooth before going on here, guys. I apologize.
Would you like me to go back to the computer?
I want to make sure my machine shows. Okay, I think we can go back to the computer here in just one sec. All right, we are connected.
All right, let's go look.
So now you can see it says connected right here. Connected Air 2. And you'll also know it's connected. Go back to the machine, Sean, so I can show everyone. You'll also know it's connected to the Air because this is blue. It's normally white, and you want to make sure it's blue.
Yeah, dark blue, look.
All right, so now go back to the or wait, you know what? We're doing iron on, so we can change our smart dial to iron on.
Janet's asking, where is the file?
The file will be part of my Patreons after my live.
There you go.
All right, so what's great is on my computer, now that I have it on iron on, it will take me to this, which says, make sure mirror is turned on and iron on material is face, shiny side down on the mat. It will also tell you that you need the fine point blade, and all we have to do is load our first color, which is the white color. Now, yeah, it's fine, shiny. So we're gonna cut this.
Open this baby up.
Yeah. So we're gonna cut this on white iron on, and I need it to be at about. If you don't know where to cut your iron on, because you want to save, let me show you something kind of cool here. Go back to my computer, Sean. Sure. So if you don't remember how long, you can hover over your mat and it brings it up. It zooms it up for you. So we know we need to cut basically 12 inches, and it looks like it's at about 7 inches that we need to go down, which is a great little thing to have. So we're going to go ahead and cut our iron on at 7 inches. I'm just using the Cricut trimmer here. All right, and let's go ahead and, now when it says liner side down, you're gonna look at your iron on, and one has a shiny, one has a dull. So see how this one's a little bit duller and this one's shiny? This is because your protective sheet that you'll iron on is there. So we're gonna turn it with the shiny side down, and this is why I said it's so important to mirror, because by doing that, we want to make sure it is turned the right way. So I always take this, use my Cricut spatula right here. All right, so we're gonna load the mat. and then we'll go and pop over to my computer, Shawnee. All right, thank you. Now, I have the Cricut Air 2. Now, on the Cricut Air 2 and the Maker, as long as you're doing cardstock, vinyl, or iron-on, you can actually click this little radio dial and it will cut twice as fast, which is a huge feature if you're mass making these. So all we have to do, our Cricut head is blinking. You guys can see that. We'll just hit go and it's gonna start cutting.
So there's a quick question.
Sure.
It was, where did I just see it? Sorry. What is the name of your vinyl? Which kind are we using here?
So I'm actually using a mix because I was out of white and black. Or excuse me, I was out of white and yellow in Cricut iron-on. So I am using Siser on the white and yellow. And then the black I'm using Cricut.
There we go.
And I am, you know, I love all sorts of brands. I'm not picky when it comes to brands. I will say that a lot of people out there, you know, have a preference and to each his own. But for me, I usually use what I have in my house. If I don't have to make a trip to Joann's or a special store, that's what I'm all about, peeps. So we'll let that cut.
Look at that baby go.
While it cuts, when we're done cutting, we're gonna go ahead and weed the negative space. Now, Sean, what's the negative space?
That's the stuff that's on the outside. Isn't that what they call it?
Yeah.
I could be wrong on this.
Basically, the spots that you don't want.
Right.
You don't want on your shirt.
There you go.
There is a key to this. Make sure you are checking everything, and I will use, I'm going to show you guys right here. I use a bright pad when I do it because it shows all of the little tiny, like little cracks in there and stuff, so you can actually see where you need to cut. So what I'll do is I'm going to be loading the black one next, and I'm going to start my ironing on. Iron it on, Sean.
All right.
Now, of course, this is the longest one that will cut out of all of them. It will tell you where we're at. We're at 70%. Let me show you that. So anytime during the process, you can see exactly where you're at. You're at 73% here, 75%, so it lets you know exactly. You also have an edit key over here, so if you do need a mirror or do something, you have that option. But I usually tend to, once the white will be done, I will follow the process on the black and white, and I'll start my weeding right away. So our next color is black. I already have that ready. And then we will also have yellow. Now this yellow is a little darker than Cricut, or than Lego yellow, but it will do its job. Sean's gonna give you a nice look at this thing cutting here. All right, we are done. So I'm gonna zoom this out, take this off, put it off to the side, so my machine could go ahead and start this process. Now this one, the carrier should be there. We'll put this on my mat.
Yeah, Jessica's right. Those tiny weeding time is tricky.
The what?
The tiny stuff. When you get into that really micro tiny stuff.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so we will go ahead and start this cutting. All right, so while that is cutting, I do have my iPad here, or my iPad, geez, my bright pad. And then I also have a silicone mat that came with my heat press. Now the reason I'm grabbing this is I do a trick to release my iron-on. I heat this up for about a couple seconds, and what it will do, 10-15. And what this will do is it's going to heat this up and obviously get really hot, but we can lay our iron on, and what it will do is it will loosen the glue and make weeding so much easier.
Oh my goodness, I love this part.
So we're going to put this, and you'll feel it getting warm under your hands. Feels like a nice warm campfire. The first time Sean weeded, we didn't know this trick, and it took forever. And then we figured out this trick, and it was like literally his mind was blown.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now that that's warmed up, you can grab your weeding tool, whatever you choose to use. And I like to grab a little corner up here, and as long as you heated it nice and good, you should be able to just lift it up. Might have to heat it up some more.
It's okay.
And don't be afraid if your paper crinkles and stuff. It's just a carrier sheet that's going to... So I don't worry about any of the minor weeding until the very end. I just get out my most negative space that I know I don't need. Okay, throw this stuff away. And I can go ahead and heat up this a little bit more to release that glue. Let's turn that up a little bit. There we go. Now we can go in here into these other little spaces. And the nice thing about iron-on is because it's nice and sticky, you should get the majority of it right away. It'll, you know, as long as you're not working with it complicated. Now, I have done it where, like, some people have done like a boho elephant or something, and it's beautiful, but I've heard some people taking hours for that to weed.
Some people said their mind is blown about the doing the heat of the pad.
I know, it was literally...
If you were to do just a big piece with that isn't really intricate, you could literally just do it, heat it, and pull, and it is amazingly fast.
Yeah, I'll do that the next time on the black here for you guys. I didn't heat it up. All right, so what I like to do, the reason for the bright pad is I can now look to make sure that I didn't miss any spots, which it looks like we're good. So we're done with the white piece. We can put this over here. My black is done. So we'll eject that. We're gonna go ahead and put my yellow. Now this one's easy because one side's yellow, one side's white, so we know that it's gonna be the yellow side facing the mat because we mirrored it, don't forget.
Mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall.
I know some people will actually make a mirrored, like basically a mirrored sheet in vinyl and put it on their lid here that says, do you need to mirror it or do you need to...
I saw that one time. I saw that what you're talking about.
Yeah, because nothing is worse than when you cut something, you wait the entire time, and it's not mirrored, and you're like, what?
Oh, Georgia has a great question. What weeding tool are you using?
Oh, so this weeding tool I was given at the Puyallup Fair this last weekend, and I wanted to try it out. Sean can show you. It's the actual Siser weeding tool. My Cricut weeding tools, I'm pretty rough on my weeding tools, you guys. So my Cricut weeding tool, I've actually bent, and...
So they can get it really close up here.
So I'm just trying it out to see if I like it. It's weighted, which is kind of weird. It's a little heavy, and it's got a little corner on the end that's really easy to capture your... I do have a link down below. You can get it. It's kind of hard to find online. And it's expensive. It's like $15 for one weeding tool, which is a little
and it's mega sharp, and it's like it is.
Yeah, just be careful with it because it's a. I mean, I can see why it's expensive. It's a pretty nice. All right, so this one we can actually see absorbing the heat, so we can kind of press this down a lot so you guys can see what it will do here.
For all those who are asking, I am feeling fantastic. That little sickness I had was only a few hours long, so once it went away, it was great. But yeah, feeling great.
This one we heated nice and long, and watch this. Just like that.
Practically done with it.
Yeah, it's crazy how that trick works. Now that I have that trick, I would never go without it. All right, so this one's pretty easy. We can see that it is through our bright pad here. We got the little piece that was right there. There is nothing down here. You would see the light coming through the bright pad. That's why I love using my bright pad for this. So the last piece is the yellow. And same thing again, we're gonna go ahead and heat up my pad here. And then when we're done with the machine and this, so we'll be doing just all easy press after this. So I'm going to heat this up.
Somebody says it looks like a dental tool. That's probably where they originally originated.
So my friend Allie, many of you know, used to work at a dentist's office, and I would always tell her, get me some of your dental tools. And you can get them on Amazon, actually, because those dentist tools work amazing for weeding. Ooh, that's hot.
Nice.
So let's go ahead. For me, the reason I do like this tool, I can already tell, is it does start really nice in the corner. Cricut has a weeding tool. That was the one that I'd broken my stuff being too rough on it, because I use my weeding tool to open packages, to do things that it's not designed. So it's not Cricut's fault that they break. It's because I'm using it for things that it's not intended to use.
To be used.
Because I have no patience and I want things opened now, and it's too hard to locate scissors or...
Amanda says, if you don't have a heating pad, can you do that trick with an iron?
Yeah. You just
not directly with an iron, but
you would need to heat it on something, a towel, something. The only reason I like this is a silicone mat, so it retains the heat.
Yeah.
So it's really good for that. So, all right. So we could go ahead and get this out of the way.
All right.
And we're going to start the pressing portion of our demonstration. All right, so for this
And we're done with the pad, right? The light pad?
Yes, we are done with that. Thank you, Shawnee.
You bet.
So for this, we are using the Easy Press, and we are using the Easy Press mat. If you do not have an Easy Press, you can, or a mat, the Easy Press mat, you could still use it with a towel. You could do this with ironing. You could do it with all sorts of stuff. But if you are using the Easy Press, make sure you look at the recommended settings. I gave you the link down below. There's 2 different recommended settings. One is for if you're using a towel. The other is for when you're using the Easy Press mat. So, are we delayed still?
That's the delay. Yeah, that's our delay.
What were you filming?
I was putting this down. I was going like this. Trying to get that thing out of
I'm like, I'm watching the replay, guys, and I'm like, Sean's all over the place. What's he doing?
Though, Jordan, the thing that you saw in the beginning is not the Cricut Easy Pad. That was from an actual heat press. They always come with a pad, and that's what we use just to do our heating. The one you just now saw, this gray one, this is the Cricut one.
Yeah. So we only use that to use the heating because here's the thing. Cricut made their Easy Press mat so great that it doesn't retain the heat really.
No, so it doesn't work very well.
So it doesn't work for my trick, or I would have used it, because they did a great job on the mat. It just doesn't retain heat, which is what you really want, because you're going to get a better solution. But for my trick, it's kind of need it to retain the heat, Shawnee.
Yeah.
So what I like to do is preheat this. So we are using an Easy Press mat. So if we grab my settings here. So Easy Press mat, this is cotton. We are using basically right here the standard light. So 315, 5 seconds, 30 seconds. So I'm going to adjust my Easy Press because we want it to be 315. So I'm going to hit temp and bring it down to 315. And it will be for 30 seconds. But we also need to press it 5 seconds before, but I want to get some of these wrinkles out. So
wrinkles are not fun. So Mary Stevens is asking, what's the max number of layers do you recommend?
This one's cutting it. Yeah. There is a trick, and I can show you guys in another video, but if you're going to have multiple, let's say 4 or 5 layers, if you use the slice tool, you can basically cut it out. So on my design, which I've already put down, I have the yellow, white, and black. So normally, like I'm doing a full block here. What it would do is it would cut out, and everything would basically lay into each other, and you would only technically have 1 layer. Just make sure you line it up good. But anything over 3 layers is my max.
Yeah, because once that it gets a little thick.
And it depends on what you're using. We used the glow-in-the-dark Siser, and it made everything really kind of a little bulky, which I'm sure it's because of the, the type, but all right. So let's start. Now I know some people measure and stuff. I just do the 3-finger rule, which is literally I take my hand, I go 3 fingers down, and then I put my easy press mat at the top of my 3 fingers, so that way I know my design, the top of it will be on that easy press mat. Of course, we want it as much in the center as possible. So we'll probably move the mat over just.
Are you getting your shirts ready for Disney?
I'm not going to Disney.
We're not going to Disney.
I wish I was going to Disney.
That would be nice.
But I'm not. All right. So here's my design. And let's see. The first layer is yellow. Now, because we are layering, our total for the last we want is going to be what the recommended settings are, which is for a full 30 seconds. So I am going to just do it what's called a flash heat just to get this on, and then we'll do a final one at the very end. So let me make sure my...
I'm sorry, Emily, if I missed your question, I'm going to see if I can find it real fast. Unless it's not showing up. I'm trying to find it, but I don't see anything offhand. So if you want to re-ask your question, Emily, please try again.
So now when using the Easy Press, this is not an iron, so you don't want to do something like this. We're going to start over on this side. We're going to start the Cricut timer, and we're only going to go down for about 5 seconds, maybe 6. And then I'm just going to hit my Cricut head, because remember, we're doing layers, so you want to make sure that you are not getting it completely, because we don't want to overheat this bottom layer. So then we can test it to make sure it comes up. You want to go very slow, because we haven't done a full setting on this yet, because we are doing layers.
Mm-hmm. So you are weeding from the back side, Tanya was asking?
Uh-oh, I forgot to weed. Wah, wah, wah. Good thing that these, I only flashed it. See, even with my bright pad, I'm talking, but we didn't do a full setting on it, so we can fix this really quick.
Everybody says you should have moved this to the right.
I should have?
Yeah, see where your end here and here.
Well, you know, to each we learn. This will probably be worn most of the time when I'm wearing pajamas. So I'm a t-shirt kind of pajama guy. So because we didn't do a full setting, we should be able to just pull this off. You do not want to hit your t-shirt underneath, so...
Oh, Priscilla, that's a good idea. Fold your shirt in half lengthwise and you can find where center is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at you guys.
I think somebody else said that once and we kind of forgot.
We forgot.
So it says, why can't Cricut Sport Flex be used on t-shirts? Bought a bunch, but I had to get Siser stretch. I didn't even know that.
I didn't know, because I think the idea is why would you use it on a t-shirt that's cotton? Because then you could just use regular iron-on.
Yeah, regular iron for just normal cotton. But if you're using some of that stuff that is very flexible, that sports material, that's when you would want to use it, right?
Yeah. It's kind of for like what the shirts we like, or even like the polo I'm wearing right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Your polo's a very
So we
stretchy
fixed
stretch.
it. Thank goodness. So now we can line up our black layer, and we just want to make sure we have a nice offset all the way around. All right, Sean, I'm at an angle here, so I might need your help here to make sure I'm... The corners are the... There we go.
Should there be more? I know the words are a little...
No, it should be...
Looking at the...
Yeah, that's what we need to look at. The corners aren't going to be perfect because of... There we go. Because this layer is actually not a perfect offset. The white should be, though. This one has a little bit bulkier on the bottoms and not along the top. So let me make sure I'm lined up here.
Emily says she got the info directly from Cricut.
Huh. The only thing I can think of, to be honest, is the only reason I would say no is just because I would just use a regular shirt.
Yeah. Let's see. Somebody said, "Are you using a cover on your bright pad?" We are not. It's straight.
Not for that. No.
No, not for what we did for weeding. We don't.
So for whatever reason, my master builder's a little off. So never fear, even though it defeats the purpose of attaching it. If it's not lining up to your exact liking, I always recommend to people to just cut it and manually place it then. Because if you're a perfectionist like me, you want to make sure you have that offset perfect. I don't know if I accidentally resized it or if something happened in my file, but I'll have to check that before other people use it. So that looks good now.
She was saying that it says it's not recommended for 100% cotton or cotton poly blend, which is why she used something else, is what I'm assuming.
To be honest, I have not...
And Auntie Tay is asking...
Hi, Auntie Tay.
Hello, hello. Yes. Did you design this?
I did.
There you go. And I did see something earlier, and it was from Jessica. She wanted to know if you could do a video sometime of exactly how you made this from start to finish.
Illustrator or the shirt?
The SVG.
Yeah. It's an Adobe Illustrator, which, let me tell you guys, Adobe Illustrator ain't cheap. It's like $55 for all their programs. The only reason I'm using this is the iron protective sheet. You can get this at Cricut. Is because I have a yellow, it's all covered. I just want to make sure. Now, remember, we're on our second layer. So we have our first layer that we've only really hit with 5 seconds. Then we have this black layer that we're only going to want to hit with 5 seconds. And then when we're finished, we'll do the final one.
Yeah. So Melinda's asking, when you made the layers, did you just make the black and the white layers smaller so it would fit inside?
No, I actually used an offset. So it should be a perfect all the way around. I think what happened is in my SVG process, for some reason when I attached, I didn't line it up properly. So. Oh,
Lara, yeah, you need to get that bright pad. It is such a godsend when it comes to this weeding stuff.
Godsend!
You don't want to keep using your flashlight.
So, normally you don't want to use this as like I did, going back and forth, but the fact that we're just basically doing layers and hitting the black layer, so let's make sure we get a good... You don't want to give your bottom layer, the reason why we're not doing 30 seconds for each layer is that means your yellow layer on the very bottom would end up having 90 seconds, which is obviously
way
too much. So that, and you don't want to obviously cut your shirt and stuff like that.
See, I just thought, what does this logo represent?
What does what logo?
I'm assuming this logo here. A master builder?
So, if you've seen the Lego movie, which if you haven't, you need to. It's probably one of the best things around. They call the certain Lego people in the video as master builders. And they're the ones that can essentially quickly build. Must have did something on my attachment stuff. I'm going to have to check that file before I make sure it's ready for you guys. So a master builder basically is someone that holds the ability to be amazing at building Legos.
I'm not sure what Shar is trying to say. She said, why wouldn't the black cover sheet be enough?
The black cover sheet. Oh, I see what she's saying. It would have been. I'm ultra safe when I'm doing stuff. I have done, what she's saying is basically I had this protective sheet, but I still use this when I did the black. Mm-hmm. It probably would have been. The only reason I'm doing it this way is I've actually had an item hit my shirt and burn it.
Yeah.
And
shirt burned.
It burned bad.
And
I've also melted a whole tote on my Easy Press. That wasn't fun.
Yeah. So Denise says, have you ever used Inkscape?
I am not a fan. I'm like one of the few people I think in the world that is not a fan of Inkscape. And it's nothing's wrong with Inkscape. It's just Inkscape and Max do not play well together. So they constantly, in my opinion, crash. I have issues. So from what I've seen on Adobe, I've been pretty happy.
And she says, yes, the white cover protector, which is a piece of Teflon. Nikki was saying that offset is a feature that Silhouette has, but not Cricut, sadly.
Correct.
This is correct. Maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
We talk about it all the time.
We talk
even to the big boss. We keep telling him, need an offset.
And we say we need it. You know what my problem is on this one? My file. Oh no, there we go. My file, for some reason, these little lines should be closer together. So I'm gonna have to fix the file, guys. I'm so sorry. But never fear. That's what's great about iron-on is if it doesn't work, we can just separate it and get a better one. Because, you know, this is serious. I need to make sure that this can be worn like to the Oscars and stuff.
There you go.
I mean, I am a master builder. Sean, how many sets do I have?
Of what?
Lego. Oh my gosh.
Lego sets. We have.
To you right now.
We have tons of them.
I cannot even. Of what?
I wasn't sure what you were saying.
I haven't had any time to actually build any of them.
Yeah, we're not doing great on our separation either.
Yeah, our whole Lego city, if you guys follow my social media channels, you'll remember the sad day that my whole entire village came crashing down because of my dogs. And I'm supposed to be building it back together, but I have not, which is super sad. So all of my citizens are still in a bucket, and they're very sad that their world has no more.
Yeah, a couple of people said that Inkscape is a little wonky on a Mac.
It's very wonky on a Mac. It is very wonky on a Mac. I'm being way too much of a perfectionist. I'm sorry, you guys. Sean has never really used Inkscape.
No, I've never really seen it or looked at it really. I've seen.
So he doesn't really know.
We had somebody that used it who created your logo with Inkscape.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to redo these. I'm super sad now. I don't know what happened.
How are you gonna redo it?
Well, I just opened the file and see if my offset feature was a little wonky. It's good. It's not bad. It's just not perfect where I want it. So, you know me, Sean. I like perfection. Perfection tire. Which is not a bad deal. You just have to be a little bit more of a pain like I am doing right now. So before I give you guys that file, this is why I didn't want to give it to you early, because if it's not 100%...
Somebody said they would work from the middle out.
I know. How other people do it and how Ken do it is very different.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a normal worker. But the great thing is if things happen like this, you guys can see how to fix it. But in my video, I said, oh, if you use the attach feature, you won't have to worry about doing it all separate. And now look at me.
Denise's husband is watching is watching this as well.
Hi, Denise's husband.
Hello, Denise's husband.
Dun, dun.
My brother-in-law finished the Death Star.
Wow. I never bought the Death Star. I think they re-released the Death Star. So if you have the original Death Star, though, oh my goodness gracious, it is worth so much money.
Can you buy the Illustrator outright? I have no idea.
You can, but it's like $900. I'm not even kidding.
That's almost like trying to buy Photoshop.
Photoshop. Well, we have Photoshop now. I pay $58.99 a month, which is a lot.
The Photoshop, the full.
Yeah.
I hear that used to be hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Well, it is $38.99, or no, $52.99 to do all of them. And that's what I optioned to do. But obviously I need to fix my file and see what I did wrong there, because this is not making Kenny bueno happy. All right, so we have the top. Now we just need the master file. Here I was so proud that I made my first file and it didn't even match up.
Do you think it shrunk from the heat?
No.
From the heat? No.
I think either when I did my attach feature, I was a little off. Down here, the master builder down here, I do know that this outline on this is a little wonky because I kind of wanted it to be like that. So this one isn't going to be a perfect, but my Lego guy should have been perfect. So I don't know what happened there. So I'm going to have to take a look at it before I release it all to you guys. My Patreons. Because in Illustrator, it looked beautimous.
Yeah, as for Legos, I wouldn't mind having the new big giant.
So once again,
one.
Do you need to do this? As long as you have some sort of sheet protecting where it is. Problem is this isn't a full. My easy press is going to go a little bit off of this, and I don't want to ruin my shirt. We had a shirt, and I don't know, maybe it was the shirt, but when we did it, it unfortunately scorched the shirt, and it didn't come out in the wash. And ever since then, I've been kind of a little nervous. So really not a lot of pressure. You just kind of put your hand on it like so. And then we're going to do a final heat set on it. What do you think, Shawnee?
I think that's perfect.
I'm super sad that my offset's not perfect. I'm sorry, guys. I have failed all of you. Now I'll listen to the comments coming in. I will never watch you again. I'm going to a different channel.
Is that the Lego font?
Yes.
That you're using? Yes, it is. There you go.
It's called Lego Thick.
Lego Thick.
I got it at defont.com. because Cricut does not have a Lego font, which is super sad.
Oh, Kim, that's perfect.
Oh, Kim,
He
perfection.
He got the Millennium Falcon, so because he got that, which is, of course, like $900.
Oh, the big one?
Yeah, I'm assuming she got the maker.
Oh, well, that's a good trade-off.
That's a great job. That's if you got the big one. That's the one I'd like to have, is the really big one.
All right, so we still have to do a final press on this because, remember, we did multiple layers. And because of that, I didn't put it the full heat setting each time. Normally, you would do 30 seconds on the whole image at 315. But because I am doing multiple layers, I didn't want to scorch one. So now what I want to make sure I do is cover this. This is where it's important. You need a protective sheet over this. And we're going to do for about 15 seconds on each side.
She said you didn't fail. You just worked it out, and then you showed everybody how to work it out.
AKA failed.
You did not fail. You learn more with the failures.
Yeah.
Or the mistakes or stuff.
I will say I do like Adobe Illustrator so far. I tried using Inkscape because it's free, and on a Mac it crashed and it would freeze, and so I was like, I can't do this. And so that's why I did Inkscape or Adobe Illustrator, and I'm loving it. There's a ton of YouTube tutorials on how to use it because it is, a lot of stuff going on in it. But I love it, and for me, it's worth the pricing. For the $52.99, you get like access to all of their programs. So you get Adobe, Photoshop, Illustrator, everything. So.
Ooh, building a coffee table for the Falcon. Cool.
I need a coffee table for my Lego set.
We do need something.
All right, so as I said, this is probably the most I would do. I wouldn't do more layers than this because even this, well, it's not too bad. All right, so let's go ahead. Not yet.
That's it?
Here.
I'm going to hold it up.
You can put it on.
Oh, I'm going to put it on.
If you're going to hold it up, everyone wants to see what you're going to look like, Sean. So the Easy Press mount, the thing I really do like about it is it retains basically this isn't hot at all. My countertop is still cold. All the heat is retained in the Easy Press mount, which I really, really, really like. We can turn our Easy Press off now by just hitting the power button. So I was asked a question today. So someone asked me, when would you, let's see what it looks like. Look at that! Master Builder.
Nice.
So like cute. Yeah. And look at, see, this is all Lego because we watched a thing. If you have not watched, if you have Netflix, watch a show called The Toys That Made Us.
Great.
And they did a thing on Lego, and it was really cool to watch. Cool. So I do want to answer a question that I get all the time. When would I use an Easy Press versus a heat press? I got this question a lot this weekend. Why would you recommend an Easy Press over a heat press? Not that I recommend one over the other. I always ask someone, what are you doing with your business? If someone says, I'm just a home crafter, I make shirts every once in a while, I don't have a big craft space, Easy Press all the way. This machine for the cost is amazing on what it can do. If you're someone that says, I'm doing a business to make shirts as a full-time living, and I want to be able to make shirt after shirt after shirt, that's when I'd probably recommend the heat press. And the only reason why is the heat press, you can actually clamp down, do other things, take it off, put the next one on. You could do it with an Easy Press. It just might have a little bit, it'd be more involved with the Easy Press. Yeah. Most people that watch my videos are doing home-based stuff. They bought a mystery box. They bought some HTV and they want to iron it onto one shirt. Easy Press is perfect for that. So, and to me, it's also how much space you have in your craft room, how, this is going to sound bad and I don't want to come off as a bad remark, but on a heat press, sometimes you have to pull it down and clamp it into place, and it takes some force to do that. So it's not one way or the other, it's just kind of what you're doing.
Is that, oh my God, they're heavy. They're very heavy.
They're heavy.
And once you have it in the spot, that's where you're going to leave it.
Yeah. I will say that...
And they're a little pricey too.
I will be honest with you. When I first originally saw the Easy Press, I was like, I don't know about this. until I got it and used it, and then I fell in love with it. So we very rarely use our heat press, but we're doing stuff like this. That's a one application and stuff. So
thank you. Sorry, I haven't been watching our questions if there were any.
I made 50 there. Wow.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot.
Thanks.
Yeah, Jessica, if you are just the local person that just makes a few shirts, that would be definitely sell that. And then
so I see a comment that says the mat really needs to be bigger. I think the idea for the mat was the Easy Press is really only a 9x9 area. And since you're not using an Easy Press as an iron and moving it around like this, there's no need for a bigger mat because at any time you're only pressing a 9x9 area. So that's the reason why the mat, I think, is the side. Honestly, I think it's so they don't encourage people to use it, because that's the problem with the Easy Press is if you do use it as an iron and you start going over it like this, you're going to get inconsistent results because now you're getting different temperatures at different layers. And that's a big key. If someone says to me, hey, I have the Easy Press, it's not working and things are falling off, did you move it while you were doing the application process? Yep. Because you're not getting a consistent heat all the way across.
Because you're actually using this as a press. Boom, hold, it stays there. It's not moving like an iron. Even I think when you're doing an iron, it should literally be the same way, but the iron is so inconsistent of heat and it's got so many different spots, that's why people move it around hoping that they're going to get a good press.
Yeah.
Here it's a little more consistent. A lot more consistent. Really.
A lot more consistent. Yeah. So, anyways, any other questions you guys have?
Let's see.
Yes, Joan says, don't forget to heat the press. Heat your shirt from the back side. And I got so excited on the reveal.
Yeah.
On here you will see it here sometimes where it says post heat back, leave liner on 15 seconds, which basically means flip it over and do the back, which we'll do.
Yeah. Take it off and do it.
I get so excited on the reveal. There's times I forget about the backing, and I don't think on any of our Disney shirts we heated it from the back, did we? And it survived wash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything's
or
fine.
did we? I think we did it after the fact because I always forget until I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why you have to have your Easy Press settings. Let me see. Any other? I don't see any more.
Let's see.
Emily says, I made 53 color totes for a local vet, and I swore never again. So that's my thing on the Easy Press, the heat press, is I have a friend who makes shirts for a living, and when she came over and used my Easy Press, she's like, this is great, but I'm making 100 shirts in a row for a soccer organization, and I was like, you need to use my heat press. Just because it's a quick,
it's
done. For the home base, if you're a home crafter, this is the way to go.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Nikki says, Ken, would you have considered doing a knockout so that you wouldn't have 3 layers, but maybe 1 or 2?
I did. The reason why I wanted the 3 layers is I was trying to match the logo of Lego. So if you look at the logo of Lego, it's white with an outline of black with an outline of yellow, and that's on all their boxes. That's everywhere. To me, when I see those 3 colors together, it represents Lego. Originally, in my file that I will be giving to my Patreons, there is a 1-layer file in there. There is no outlines. It's just the guy. So if you wanted just the white part of this shirt with the master builder underneath, you'll have that in the Patreon file. Mm-hmm. The only reason I did the layers is because I wanted it. And I think where it messed up, because I did actually test this earlier today and it was fine, is when I turned off my layers, I think things got moved. That was our dog.
Hello? Is that Maya? Yeah. Maya, are you okay?
Are you okay, Missy? Do you need CPR?
Yeah?
Oh, you poor thing.
Oh, poor little Missy.
There it goes.
There we go.
There it goes. All right, guys, that is today's show. We're going to be back tomorrow. Did you guys say you had Design Space videos on Patreon? I have Design Space videos on my YouTube channel. I am creating a whole series of Design Space videos. Broken down. Some of my Design Space videos tend to be long, like this one. I want to make them in like 10-15 minute increments.
Yeah, there you go.
So we will be back tomorrow. We're doing a Chocateur project, and then we'll also be back Thursday. I am trying to get a regular schedule of every week. Mondays typically will be like a card, a paper crafting project. Tuesdays are typically going to be Chocateur, and then Wednesday is going to be a Ken from the car, and then Thursdays is kind of how we feel it. But as you guys know, life happens, so sometimes
we get stuck doing other things.
And I wanted to go live all the time during the day, but Sean's not here, and he's starting to have little withdrawals when I go live and he's not here.
Yeah.
It was killing him this last weekend when I was gone.
It was terrible.
Yes. So he tries to get in every once in a while.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. So once again, where are the heat settings at? They're actually down below. If you actually look in the links, you'll see Easy Press heat settings. Click that. It will take you to Cricut's help homepage, and it will tell you how to use your Easy Press using a towel or the Easy Press mat. If you have a heat press, you always on a heat press usually want to go by the manufacturer of the material you are working with. So if you're working with Siser, you'd use their application instructions. If you're using Cricut, you'd use their application instructions. All that kind of stuff.
There you go. Perfect.
Yay. You would like Fabulous Sounds Good. I'd like to see the pups too. Oh, good to know. I'll work in those pups somehow.
We'll work them in.
Why would you want to see our pups when you can just hear them choking off to the side?
And the puppy sitting there.
I know, she hears us, so she wants out and stuff.
Yeah,
so
it's like 1 hour. She knows it's time.
Oh, thank you, Emily, for that.
Emily. That's so nice.
That is very nice for you guys.
Yes.
So tomorrow will be a double feature. I'll be doing Ken from the car in the morning, and we'll be doing Chocolate Tour in the evening. Double your glam.
Show. No, that's the other show.
Oh, that's the other show.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know which one? Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That was your time, not my time.
Yeah. Anyway, are we all done then?
We are all done, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you for using our links. Thank you for all the support. And we will see you guys tomorrow.
All right. Perfect. Bye.
Bye, guys.